School Reunion by Absolute 06. Bakugo Katsuki knew this day would come, but he did not expect it to come so soon. An invite to a middle school reunion. According to the letter, it isn't a real reunion. Just a little invite for a little meeting. The teachers were curious which high schools their alumni now attended. A part of Katsuki knew they only did this because he now attended UA. But so does Deku. The UA first year marched through their dormitory. All extras, even Kaminari, knew he was on a mission, so they let him be. Katsuki stopped in front of a door and knocked loudly. It opened and Deku stood there. Kachan? Katsuki ignored the childish nickname and held his letter in Deku's face. "Did you get an invite?" he asked, just slightly angry. "No? A reunion? Already?" He continued to look at the letter. "I didn't. Doesn't matter. I won't come anyway." "I won't go too," said Katsuki. "This falls onto our second internships anyway." Deku sighed and just told him, "I didn't plan to come anyway." Katsuki snarled and left his classmate alone. He heard Deku closing his door. There were a few weeks until the reunion actually happened. In that time, UA announced another few weeks of internships. They said they needed as much experience as they would get. This time, the internships are groups. Katsuki was sure they only did this because they couldn't find enough heroes to do internships in such a short time frame, regardless of how much they yapped about teamwork. Todoroki asked Deku and two others to join his internship group, to intern under his father. Deku, like the idiot he was, agreed, even though he could easily have organized that his group work with All Might. It is no secret they're close. Sounds like his group is active in Musutafu. Nonetheless, they worked with a top hero, so Katsuki asked to join Deku, Candy Cane, Four Eyes, and Ponytail. Only Ida complained about his presence. Deku was a bit nervous about it, but Todoroki was oddly happy, if you can call half and half happy, about Katsuki joining their group. He regretted letting Katsuki join the group when they were stationed in Musutafu, but even Deku could not fathom why he was so pissed to work in his home city. The teachers of Aldera High were disappointed that their star student did not come. They organized this little celebration just to brag about Bakugo to their new students and potential new students. But he did not come. Other than Bakugo, nearly all other students that were invited came, aside from Tsubasa, that is. He didn't show up. And then there were the students who weren't invited, meaning Midoriya wasn't invited. One teen, an old extra of Bakugo, said, "Who knows, maybe the quirkless freak took a swan dive off a roof like Bakugo told him to. Or a villain killed him," guessed another. "I mean, he would deserve it. It's bound to happen if he always watches from as close as possible. Natural selection, I say." His group nodded, agreeing to his words. The first one then asked, "A shame Katsuki isn't here. I want to hear about UA." A nearby girl asked, "Doesn't your sister attend UA?" "General education is a joke, doesn't count," he argued. She walked away after mocking him. Still better than the trash tier school, Shujin Academy. "Sanji, she has a point." "Shut it, Minato," Sanji snapped. "You know, if it wasn't for the footage, I would wonder if he didn't make it into UA. Could be why he didn't show up." "You can't think that, Sanji. Bakugo is too great to fail," Minato argued. Sanji shrugged. "Just wondered. But what if he got expelled? He is rather explosive." "Dude, Sanji!" The talk stopped when they heard an explosion. Not too far from the school, a building was smoking. Then ice emerged all over it. Some from the collected alumni took out their phones and started filming. Sanji and Minato sure did. A four-armed villain came flying from the frozen building. He landed outside the property. They could watch the villain through the fence. The teachers preferred to run. The villain then jumped over the fence. Minato and Sanji were about to run when they heard an explosion. A flash fire knocked the villain again, and they saw him. Bakugo. Dynamite. "Run, you extras!" Bakugo yelled at them, which they complied with. The villain was flash frozen. Todoroki then jumped onto the fence, and from there to Bakugo. How do we capture him? He'll run when I melt the ice. Bakugo told him, annoyed as always. Simple. We let Deku smack him senseless. Deku! Minato and Sanji, who were watching from a more safe distance, had to wonder if he meant that Deku, Midoriya, the quirkless loser who was in their class. San Jose smash! Boomed a voice, and a green blur smacked into the villain. Ice shattered and the baddie was on the floor, mined out like a light. Endeavor should come in a minute or two. Is that Midoriya? Sanji asked. As if he had a quirk. Minato muttered. Talk about a late bloomer. Yeah, that is Deku. That Deku. Deal with it, Bakugo told them. Of all extras, he got into UA with me. 1A even. Fucking nerd. Todoroki just watched the exchange. He knew these two were in a class. Minato dared to ask, Bakugo, why didn't you come to the reunion? I didn't feel like it, was his answer. Felt pointless if the nerd wasn't invited. This little reunion is to celebrate all the students getting into UA, right? Makes no fucking sense if only half of those students got an invite. The one under All Might's tutelage at that. Deku kept silent, way too embarrassed in that situation. He was relieved when Endeavor came to take the students to the next prison. Shoto was just confused. Why was Midoriya not invited? Why were they surprised he had a quirk? And that was the entire fic. Thank you so much for listening to this one-shot. There is a link to it in the description. Please give the author some love. And have a nice rest of your day.